I was a little apprehensive at first when I got the email about the Love Project. I feel like some of these topics that we have to talk about nowadays are kind of borderline if you could get in trouble or something of that along those lines. But I decided to kind of put myself out there and push myself to be a voice for student athletes.
I wanted to be involved because I understand that a lot of times us as student athletes don't really get to be heard. So I thought it would be an awesome opportunity just to get out my real feelings, like raw, unedited, uncut feelings.
The present is affected by like the past, you know, and like everything that we're seeing right now didn't just start right now. And there is a history behind all of this that's important to know and to be educated about, because without that, it's really hard to even see the issues that we're currently having.
I think right now the biggest thing is you want to be part of the change, and to be able to be part of a project like this puts you right on the platform that me as a student athlete should want.
Being a Caucasian person, I think it's very important that we speak on this as well. Of all the friends and people that I have, I think, you know, on behalf of them, I need to do something for them and with them, and to show that, you know, I'm here and I stand with you. So,
you know, I think that it's important that, you know, as athletes or as, you know, fans of athletics, we look at things beyond just the sport, because people do have real lives. People do go home and deal with real issues.
I thought it's a good platform for student athletes to talk about things like the Love Project and also the social injustice that's going on in America right now.
Who we are as people, like we are athletes, yes, and we do take a lot and we should be able to handle a lot, but at the same time we still have feelings. During that time within the pandemic, there were a lot of things happening, especially with social justice issues, with police brutality. That weighed heavy on myself and my family. So during that time, I felt like I couldn't really speak out in the way that I wanted to, just because I understand that where I go to school, who supports us, and things of that nature. So you don't want to, in a sense, piss anybody off, but you do. I just think it's hard for people to realize that we still have feelings, and we shouldn't just shut up and dribble.
You have to realize also that off of the court, off of the field, off of the track, they're also a person. It's also really disheartening sometimes just seeing on social media the people that are kind of like, we don't want to hear about all that. Like, I'm just here to watch you play. Like, when we see stuff like what happened to George Floyd, we see ourselves or we see our brothers. Like, I see my dad, I see my brother when I see stuff like that.
Love is the root of everything good. And I feel like at the end of the day, we are all Hokies. We all love maroon and orange. We all love this campus. We all love to win. And I feel like in order for us to do that, everything starts with love, regardless of if you're black, if you're white, Spanish, whatever.
That's the strongest of them all. When you truly love somebody, you know, that love, it permeates no matter your differences, your similarities. You know, with love, we can have something beautiful really happen. And so I think that's really what it's about. It's just loving everybody, no matter your differences.
It's been something we've never done before, so I think that it is a step in the right direction, and I hope that we can do more and not just wear the shirts and then take them off and it stops there. And I think those shirts really do tell, you know, on the television for people watching and who want to be the next Virginia Tech women's soccer players or the next Virginia Tech football players, really telling to them to be like, hey, you know, they love me too.
When you love somebody, you want to take the time to understand them. When you love somebody, you want to take the time to try to take their hurt away or try to ease their pain.
One thing people don't really know before track and field, you know, I used to play ice hockey. So that was going through games, you know, going through different crowds. It was tough, you know, just hearing all the negative words. It was crazy, but you know, I'm a tough guy, and regardless, I'm playing my sport, persevere. No one's really there for me when we play away games and you hear discriminatory, you know, slurs and stuff like that. It was tough, but I love the sport and I enjoyed my time playing. Yeah, it was tough.
It's pain, really. It really is pain. I remember one of the first conversations I remember having with my parents, more so my mom, was that you have to do extra because you're black. If you get pulled over, just sit there, just answer everything, don't do anything, or you could get shot, or you could get killed.
It could be something as simple as a broken tail light, and you just don't know if your family member is going to come home So that's scary for me because I have two big brothers who live in the Washington, D.C. area, and they get stopped all the time, and it breaks my heart because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if they're going to be able to come home. I don't know if my niece is going to have her father.
My parents, you know, they advocate for me to, if a cop pulls me over, to be calm and don't give them a reason to do anything. Answer the questions that they give you, and don't give them a reason to, you know, get nasty with you, basically.
Breonna Taylor, Jacob Blake, George Floyd, Tamir Rice. You just think about how many people aren't on camera, who weren't on camera. Thankfully, you know, we have social media, so things are recorded now, and you can see things, and you can get a small understanding of what the black male, female, anything in between goes through nowadays.
I was kind of one of those first people that knelt with that group. It was my freshman year. At that point, you know, it was just kind of the black girls that decided to do it. We talked to our team beforehand, and when we did it, they supported us, had their hands on our shoulder. Before you say, oh, like those athletes are kneeling, I see that as disrespectful, or I don't like politics being brought into sports, you have to take a second and realize the reason why we do it. It's because, you know, we see people that look like us being, you know, brutalized and just discriminated against because of our skin color. And the thing about a protest is it's not meant to be like, oh, cool. It's supposed to draw attention. You know, it's the black girls too, but there's also been some of our other teammates who decided to kneel as well. And honestly, that's meant so much to us as far as support goes.
When you can say that you have a group of women who are coming together from different age groups, different backgrounds and things like that, and we can have those discussions and be educated about it and educate ourselves, I think that that's more powerful than putting a ball in a hoop.
A lot of the time we learn about different issues through one viewpoint, one side of the argument, and not the other. Trying to go to the source of what the issue is, and understanding both sides of it is most important.
I definitely think the main thing is just education. I think we should all be advocates for just continuous learning on various topics, because, you know, I feel like there's no real substantial action that can be taken without that, you know, and if we just continue to push for people to like learn, read, watch, listen, I feel like there will be less oblivion to all of the issues that are surrounding us.
Voting is super important, especially in this election. You gotta use your voice regardless. I just encourage all my peers, student athletes, to get out to the polls and vote if you haven't already.
So I'm on a voting committee for Hokies Thrive, and we tried to push out student athletes registering to vote, and I think it was a very positive impact that we had, and allowed people to understand the importance of registering to vote.
In order to keep this conversation going, we have to take action, and we're going to make sure that we get our vote in that day. It'll be my first time actually being able to vote since I've gotten here, so it's very important that we continue what we've all talked about and what we want to do, and the best way to do that is to vote.
Use your voice for something good. Use your voice to stand up for the person behind you, stand up for whoever you choose to care about, and that should be everybody.
It really does mean a lot, and you can have a big impact on the future of America.
If we can, you know, help Virginia Tech women's soccer, who's not a diverse group necessarily, like have a diverse culture and understanding, I think that will do a greater good than, you know, trying to, you know, change the world through a tweet or something like that.
My parents are some of my biggest role models, especially my dad. Looking at them, it gives me the courage to speak on camera and to be poised and to talk about situations like this, because I know this is what they want me to do.
I've just been really impressed with how the athletic department has just kind of gotten these resources together for student athletes. There's like been a space created for Black student athletes just to talk about those feelings and their experiences and different things.
I think that's what's needed the most, is love and understanding. To rid ourselves of that burden of those negative emotions, we're gonna need love, just like Dr. King stated.